Now, there's been a lot of people in Hollywood that spent the last 4 years, roughly, gosh, has it been 4 years already, who, want to try and move on past all their simping they did for Big Pharma. They wanted to, they want you all to forget that they told you to go get the jab or that you were, you're a terrible person. They want you to forget that I bet you a very strong percentage of them just got the first. They got the first jab and then maybe a booster or two, and that's it. They're not on their fifth boosters. Literally nobody is. I mean, yes, figuratively, nobody is. There are some people, but if you look at the actual percentages, like the amount of people that are getting their fourth and fifth, and sixth jabs, it's hardly anybody in comparison to the people that they were able to push into getting that first one. And, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is somebody who has some very interesting opinions on the jab. And I thought that this was pretty interesting as Howie Mandel, who's, I don't know, basically a nobody. I don't even know how he got famous. Was he on Bobby's World? I don't even remember. He's been in Hollywood forever. He attempts to rewrite history on the jab and immediately regrets it, getting owned by RFK Jr. Howie Mandel saying, they never said you won't get the coof if you get the jab. RFK Jr. says, I saw a tape yesterday of them all saying it. Can I play it for you? Well, wait. It doesn't matter what Rachel Maddow said. How about this?
Not just protecting themselves, but reducing their transmission to other people and allowing society to get back to normal.
We can kind of almost see the end. We're vaccinating so very fast. Our data from the CDC today suggests, that vaccinated people do not carry the virus, don't get sick.
Getting vaccinated and getting a booster shot when eligible can save your life and protect you and your family and friends from getting seriously ill and spreading infection.
What do you think the probability is? 80%?
Personally, I think it's 100%. I think that there's a reduction in transmission.
Right. COVID, if you have these vaccinations.
We have all the vaccines we need. We just need our people to take it. A, for their own protection, for the protection of their family, but also to break the chain of transmission. You want to be a dead end to the virus. So when the virus gets to you, you stop it.
Now I could play many more minutes of this. RFK is a guy that, like many people probably would agree in our spaces, I wouldn't vote for him for president, but there are things that I will agree with him on. And his positions, on the jab is one such example. This is what's so frustrating about, Hollywood and people like Howie Mandel and even other political commentators in the space that say they don't want to talk about the jab anymore because it was 4 years ago. 4 years ago, this was the greatest human rights violation in the modern era, probably the post-slavery era, post-World War II era, I guess you could say. You might be able to say, it's the greatest human rights violation in the last 50 years, 70 years. They want you to forget. Even people on the right want you to forget. Why? I don't understand. It matters. We're just supposed to move on. We're just supposed to be like, again, this quote here.
A clinical trial study, you had 22,000 people who took the vaccine and 22,000 people who got the placebo. And the result was after 6 months, they had to hand that data to FDA in order to get the emergency use authorization. What that data showed that in the vaccine group, there was one COVID death of 22,000 people over 6 months.
Right.
In the unvaccinated group, there were 2 COVID deaths. So of 22,000 people, so that allowed
3 people out of 44,000 total, according to RFK. I don't have the study in front of me, so I'm not endorsing that. That's according to RFK. Do you hear me, YouTube? I'm not endorsing that. I'm saying this is according to RFK. And by the way, if YouTube has a problem with this, it's currently up on Howie Mandel's channel.
Out the company to tell the public the vaccine is 100% effective.
100%, but that's a misnomer. 100% effective in as far as, because I saw people on the news going, well, I got the vaccine and I still got COVID. They never said you won't get COVID. They just said that.
Yes, they did. I just showed you a minute straight of people saying that. The president of the United States said that. What I like, how about a little more? How about a little more for the people in the back?
You don't allow it to use you as the stepping stone to the next person.
Now we know that the vaccines work well enough that the virus stops with every vaccinated person.
Rachel Maddow just stated as fact that it stops as fact. As fact. Rachel Maddow stated, again, this is the woman that said she wouldn't air Trump's victory speech because they couldn't knowingly broadcast information they knew was false. She just said, as a fact.
A vaccinated person gets exposed to the virus. The virus does not infect them. The virus cannot then use that person to go anywhere else.
We know that's not true. We knew that wasn't true within days of them saying that was the case, but they kept saying it. And people in Hollywood want to rewrite that. Own political commentators in my space don't want to talk about it anymore. They want to say it was 4 years ago. Forget about it. They don't want to talk about it anymore. They don't want to talk about it. Just let everyone go. Let them all live. Let them all just, I was just, we didn't really know what to do. And there are aspects of the early decision making that I would forgive. They were doing the best. There were things that they were trying to do that they felt were the best for us. I understand that. But not a single one of them has accepted any culpability for the mistakes they made. Not a single one of them has apologized. Nobody's been put in jail for the issues that people have had with it. I just, I don't really understand how Howie Mandel, and then you look at his own comment section on his own channel, Howie Mandel from one day ago. Find a single comment siding with him. Kennedy is the only candidate to state what is really going on with Ukraine. Yeah, okay, we've talked about that. Just take the time to listen to in-depth conversations on these topics, and how can you possibly think anyone else is more qualified for the highest office in our country? Well, they like RFK. Kennedy holds himself so well in debates. He's so respectful, especially when others disagree. I'm not a political person, but this is the first time I've felt actually inspired by a political candidate on a personal, educational, dare I say, moral level. He has my vote. This is on Howie Mandel's platform. Great interview. Funny how his daughter kept trying to shut him down, but RFK Jr. knew exactly the information and why it was correct. RFK Jr. has Buddha level of patience that I do not have. Mad respect. I mean, why is this so hard to grasp that many of those in power, especially in a capitalist system, may prioritize money and power over the best interest of the public? It's just not a simple adage. RFK Jr. is the only candidate brave enough to repeatedly subject himself to interviews and discussions like this. I mean, like, all of these, I get it. I'm glad that they had him on, but I mean, if you were going to try to shut him down with your, leftoid talking points, I mean, there's a whole 40-minute part of this show about the jab. Things like autism, things like that. I wouldn't vote for RFK as president, but, I like his opinions on, the jab, and, he comes well prepared. He brings receipts, and it's just extremely frustrating that, all these people are acting like this stuff didn't happen.
cannot use a vaccinated person as a host to go get more people. That means the vaccines will get us to the end of this.
But when we looked at the emergency use authorization, which is right on the screen, if you look what it says under transmission, this is what was known the moment they were making those statements. Can I have the next slide, please? What was known was that the data are not there, limited to assess the effects of the vaccine against transmission of SARS-CoV-2. They had no idea. They had no idea if it would stop the infection, yet they were making those statements on the news.
Plus, the Pfizer COVID vaccine tested on stopping the transmission of the virus before it entered the market. If not, please say it clearly. If yes, are you willing to share the data with this committee? And I really want a straight answer, yes or no, and I'm looking forward to it. Thank you very much.
Regarding the question around, did we know about stopping immunisation before it entered the market? No. These...
No. No. You idiots. No, we didn't know. We didn't know.
It'll kind of pull back the severity of it. So the fact is, that
was what they said after the fact.
Well proven. You had double the deaths without it.
But Howie, listen to this, okay?
Okay.
If this makes any sense to you, they say what they're saying: out of 22,000 people, there was one COVID death among the vaccinated, and there was 2 COVID deaths on the unvaccinated.
Double.
22,000 people.
Double.
So,
double.
And that allowed them to claim it's 100% effective.
Effective for what? You can't use the word effective.
You remember they kept saying it's 100% effective.
No, they just said it'll negate the severity.
If you go on the internet, you can see Tony Fauci.
But the word effective didn't say you won't get, I never heard you won't get COVID.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is a different subject. But yeah, in fact, I saw a tape yesterday of them all, of Biden, Fauci, Gates, Burla, all of them saying, if you take the vaccine, Rachel Maddow, if you take the vaccine, you can't get COVID, you can't pass COVID.
I didn't see that.
You didn't see that. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. You sure you weren't sharing that, liking and sharing that on Twitter? Telling everyone else that's why you have to get it? I am not about to let these people forget. I'm not about to let these people off the hook and say, well, it was 4 years ago. Forget it. No. As far as I'm concerned, all of these people were complicit in crimes against the American people and against people around the world.